Hey guys, what's going on? My name's George and welcome back to the Floor It YouTube channel. So we're still in quarantine, however that doesn't matter because we're staying consistent on delivering one video a week at 6 p.m. every Sunday. So if you're enjoying the videos, please hit that subscribe button and like the video, it really helps me out. We're almost at 200 subscribers now, literally 7 subscribers away, so your subscription really does count. So today we're going to be covering how much does it cost to run an E92 M3 as a daily driver. We're going to be covering 5 topics: road tax, insurance, fuel, tyres and general maintenance. Now first of all, before we get into the video, I want to talk to you about the E92. Now if you're watching this because you're interested in buying an E92 M3, then click up here and I'll link my buyer's guide video where I talk about all the key areas that you need to pay notice to when purchasing one of these cars. Now, an E92 M3 is a sports car alongside any other sports car. And when you look to buy one of these cars to daily drive them, actually you need to bear in mind that they are expensive cars to run. Now, you don't buy an Audi R8 and expect it to be cheap to run. So you don't buy a V8 M3 and also expect it to be cheap to run. You need to be prepared to pay the cost for this car. Now, the car's really rewarding. However, you need to be prepared to pay that cost for it, such as all the things we're going to be talking about today. Let's get into the video. So starting off at road tax. Now, to be honest with you, this one's the same whether you're daily driving it or whether you have it as a weekend car, you still need to pay your road tax. However, the E92, alongside many other fast cars, has a high road tax. And the reason for that obviously is the emissions it puts out with the V8 and obviously not being as environmentally friendly. So how much does it cost? Well, for last year, I paid £550 for my road tax. Now that was at about £45 a month on a direct debit payment plan with the DVLA. Now this year, it's actually going up from £550 to £570. So granted, it's only £20 increase, but we're slowly edging more and more towards £600. And this is just to have the car on the road. We don't get anything from this. It is just to have the car on the road and taxed by the government. So it is an expensive thing. Now, number 2 is insurance. Now I know this is different for everyone, but I'm just going to speak from my experience. I know if you're 55 and have 30 years no claims, then your insurance can be a lot cheaper. Now from my experience, I'm 25 and my insurance costs me £1,000 a year. Now I am on a pay monthly scheme with my insurance provider, which is Admiral. So there is a bit of interest included in there as well. So I pay around £98 a month, which totals around 1190, 1200 quid a year. Now this is fully comp, and I always recommend that everyone goes fully comp just in case. These cars are lively and you can't always predict what's going to happen no matter how good of a driver you are, so always be fully comp. And number 3, moving into fuel, and this obviously is the most controversial one when we're talking about an E92 M3 because 4 litre V8, you don't get great miles to the gallon, and ultimately fuel is a huge cost with this car. So I'm going to do a little comparison here to show you how much the E92 actually costs in fuel. So I used to have a 2016 Ford Focus ST. That was a diesel model, okay? So I worked out that I normally drive around 10,000 miles a year from a personal perspective. Not including any business miles. From a personal perspective, I drive around 10,000 miles a year. So I've worked out the numbers to show what the E92 would cost at 10,000 miles a year versus what the Focus ST would cost at 10,000 miles a year. So I used to fill my Focus ST with Shell V-Power diesel premium fuel. Now, from a petrol perspective, the BMW costs £95 to fill up on a full tank. And this will get me normally around 250 miles at an average. It's normally less than that if I'm just driving around town, but an average we'll call it 250 miles. Now with the Focus ST, filling up a full tank of Shell V-Power diesel was around £80. So already you're seeing as a £15 difference in the cost there. However, the biggest factor comes in when the Focus would get 500 miles to a tank as opposed to the E92. So not only are we saving £15 there already, actually we're doubling the amount of distance that we can cost. And you're probably saying, yes, but this is diesel. Exactly, right? And that's the point. Don't buy a BMW E92 M3 and then look to get good miles to the gallon. That's not the car. You don't buy a Ferrari 430 and then drive it around expecting to get 50 miles to the gallon. It just doesn't happen. So you just need to be aware of how much the cost difference is when driving one of these cars. So if you drive 10,000 miles a year at that average of 250 miles a tank versus 500 miles a tank, actually the BMW would need to be filled up 40 times throughout the year, and the Focus will need to be filled up 20 times throughout the year. So working out the average of the cost, the BMW costs around £3,800 to fill up at 40 times a year, whereas the Focus ST only actually costs £1,600 a year to fill up for 20 tanks. So over a year period, the E92 M3 has cost me around £2,200 more in fuel a year than I was paying for the Focus ST. That's around a 58% increase in fuel costs from just driving the E92. Now I have to say that these numbers are large. However, I have enjoyed every second of it. And similar back to the point I made at the start of the video, you don't buy an M3 and expect to get diesel miles to the gallon. It just doesn't happen. I can guarantee you that I could have got further in the ST, but I definitely got there quicker in the M3. So number 4, tyres. Now this is a huge one, obviously, because the M3 has fucking large tyres. They're running a 245 on the front and a 265 on the rear. Now these are huge tyre sizes and they definitely add up in cost. So obviously you've got lots and lots of brands to choose from. However, my favourite brand and personal favourite is Michelin. I've tried lots of different tyres and Michelin just gives me the best feeling when I'm on the road. Currently I'm running Pilot Super Sports on there at the moment. So 265 on the rear, 245 on the front. And I checked my tyres the other day and I've got good tread on the front, but the rears are looking quite low. So I'm going to need to be able to get some more of these tyres very soon. But the biggest thing that comes with tyres is that the larger tyre you have, the more expensive it becomes. So I replaced all 4 corners of my car last year and it cost me £850, including fitting, to get all of these tyres. Now, to me, tyres are a lot of money, right? But I was willing to pay the amount to get the quality of tyre that I wanted. And again, this falls back to my point at the start. You don't buy a nice car, a powerful, fast car, and then put shit tyres on it. If you're doing that, in my personal opinion, you're not willing to spend the money on the car to maintain it to the ability that it needs to be maintained to. If you're on budget Kumo tyres, right, and you're pushing down a road as fast as you can, and the tyres let out, then you will crash your car. And is the cost of crashing your car more than the amount it would cost you to just spend a couple £100 more and get better tyres? Now, I'm not saying that the Michelins will save you at all times. However, I believe that they are a better tyre and have better grip and will give you more confidence when pushing the car. And I personally would rather say that I've got Michelins on my car and I know that when I'm pushing and I've looked after the tyres correctly, that they will give me the grip that I need versus a budget tyre that I put on the car because I couldn't be bothered to spend the money on a nice set of tyres. That's just my personal opinion. Now, if you disagree with that and you use budget tyres on your M3, please leave a comment down below and let me know which tyres you use and why you think they're better than Michelin's. And number 5 is general maintenance. Now, I've mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but these cars are very temperamental. The S65 is a very, very sensitive engine and things can go wrong. And things will go wrong for no reason at all. I was just driving down the road the other day, dropped down into fourth, going into a national speed limit zone, put my foot down and suddenly all the power cut out. And it turns out that my fuel pump ECU had gone bad. And that was £350 to then replace. So you can just be driving the car normally and things can break. However, like I've also said in my other videos, if you look after the car properly, the car will look after you. So just be aware of that. You need to have spare money lying about. And the reason for that is that rod bearings cost £1,500. Throttle actuators cost anywhere up to £1,000 depending upon where you go. Tyres will cost £800. If you blow a tyre out, you need to be able to replace them. But again, harking back to my point at the start of the video, you don't buy a fast car and expect it to be cheap to run. So if you're looking to get into an E92, I encourage you completely. It is my favourite car in the entire world. I love it to pieces, as well as lots of you do. However, as you will all know, they aren't cheap to fix. So if you're looking to get into one of these cars and you can just afford to buy it, and once you've bought it, you have no money left at all, don't buy it. And the reason I'm saying that is because if something goes wrong, you need to have that spare cash to fix it. Just wait a while. Right? There's no rush. The market's quite low at the moment in these cars. If you're looking to get into one, make sure you've got the money secured to buy the car and spend a few more months saving so that when you get it, you can enjoy the car, and if things go wrong, you can fix them immediately, because there's nothing worse than having a car you love sat on the drive that doesn't work because you can't afford to fix it. So there we go, guys. Really quick video for you today. I hope you're all staying safe in quarantine. As always, please subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps me out. I'm so thankful for all of you coming back every Sunday to watch these videos. Like I mentioned in my last video, so many of you have reached out to me on Instagram and DM me saying how much you're enjoying the videos, coming back to me on the upgrade parts video that I made last week, and it really, really means a lot to me. So if you're interested, I'll link it here. My Instagram is @M3Floor. Go and give me a follow. Please DM me. I reply to all my DMs. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Stay safe.